Schoen picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down?
That is a score for Hasliger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Lutz.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Stop Ulti TV velmi eroginkime Ultimate vendromene.
Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone, follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love frisbee. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member of Ulti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe. Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Right now,
He's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Meistering immediately launches it deep. Got the shot down. No!
Will it make it
Don't you
back
dare
into
do
the
this!
end zone?
Finney!
Oh my God!
Who let you move to Europe? This is disgraceful behaviour. I didn't realise you had a
Vosicek
Czech
missed the
doppelganger. Don't you look at the camera like
And
you
it was
know
a
what
high
you
grab.
did.
The receiver had no
Honestly.
chance to actually check his feet. Seems like everyone will agree.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Dear Frisbee fans from all over the world, Alti TV is back at the WFDF YouTube channel, bringing you the last game of today from the fields of Pola Marsowe in Wrocław, field number 1, featuring the upper power pool matchup between the Czech Republic and France. France is starting off with their cheer, blue jerseys featured on the stream. Here is the Czech Republic coming out in white and red, of course, on the bottom half. This will be the most exciting matchup of today, as the winner will find their way directly into the semifinal of the Under-20 women's division. Behind the mic for your pleasure and entertainment is Rachel Toschnerová, and I am joined by my lovely Austrian counterpart, Kristina Obermeier.
Hey everyone, hey Rachel. I'm so excited for this game. The Czech Republic and France upsetting Canada earlier in the week, saving themselves the perfect position in the upper power pool, together with the USA and New Zealand. So both of them with 1 win and 1 loss. Both of them again lost to the USA, who have been undefeated so far, but both also won against New Zealand. France won 15-6, very convincingly. The Czech Republic won a bit closer on Universe.
Causing the first upset against Team Canada were the Czechs. But interestingly enough, both of these teams coming out of Pool B, which was the second pool in the Under-20 women's division, meaning that they have matched up previously. The Czechs at that time coming out on the winning end, and they have done so in a pretty strong fashion, winning 12-8 over France. But as the Czechs have said prior to this game themselves, the French have improved throughout this tournament and will be looking to get a victory over the Czechs. Havlova will be facing off the French zone and puts up a courageous overhead throw, collected beautifully by the Czechs. They gain yards quickly, or rather meters, as we use the metric system in both the countries featured on the stream. Havlova with the disc once more goes sideways to Barbora Silná. Both of these players, of course, being featured in the Under-17 final back in 2019, also here in Wrocław. But here's the first turnover for the Czechs, and France with an early chance to break. First gainer for France. They go through the middle to Blanc. She resets to Lacoste-Lefebvre. Here's some give and go action and a follow up to Rollet. And here is a block.
Poach block by the
denies.
Poach block by the Czech Republic. France a bit lost of options, has to take the risky shot, and this is Czech's disc once again.
Silná, Havlova and Zaluska will be the handler set for the Czechs. Of course, together with Dominika Hadová. A lot of this Czech team coming out of smaller teams around the Czech Republic, rather regional ones. You'll hear them their names for sure eventually. Now it's the Czech Republic that have to go over the top, and that one too short for Stolová. Second turnover of the first point of this game. Lacoste picks up for France. Finds an upliner. France centers to Petitbon. Lacoste with an around pass into the end zone, and that's an early break for France. They go up 1-0 over the Czechs.
They managed to get it in at the second time of asking. Red zone opportunity number 2 for France. Pans out.
As we see Darek, the organizer of this tournament, carrying the Callahan count sign, and I believe the number at this tournament is currently 49.
49 Callahans. That is very impressive.
We have some of the people in the chat asking whether there is the US versus New Zealand game. Not on our stream, Dean, but we have seen previously the New Zealand teams streaming on their Facebook, going live several times. So maybe try to look around their Facebook page, New Zealand Ultimate. If you find the link, you can post it in the chat, but I believe it will be mostly Czech and French fans tuning in for this one. If you want to participate in the discussion, hit the subscribe button.
And if you want to follow any of the other games, go to the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship website, wjuc.sport, where you can find live takers of all the other games. But we are here, under 20 women's action, France and Czech Republic. I'm promising you now, it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a great game.
So as we usually have the wind coming from the right side of the screen, the Czechs will be going downwind, and France choosing to opt for the zone once more. That one floats over the top for Mrazová. The wind takes it away.
Bit of a risky shot. Gives the disc back to France once again on the about half field.
Lacoste. She will be the central handle for this French D-line. Well kept in bounds by Berthaudot, who takes the around, but it's snagged away out of the air. Bulanova with the D. Zaluska just about snags that one out of the air. Silna now goes sideways to Havlova. Seems like the French will try to reset. Would love to see a bit more movement. Stolova now gets the gainer. Resets to Silna. Havlova examining the field despite the strong sun that is hitting the eyes of these Czech handlers. Hadova with a big swing to Havlova.
This French zone not really pressuring the handlers, just neglecting any options downfield, but Czech Republic just happy to play it within those strong handlers.
But with this wind, it could easily be too little of a rotation on that disc. And just as we say that, a turnover occurs. And Lacoste picks up. Blanc puts up a deep shot. Luckily for the Czech, Havlova once more gets in the way.
They're a bit rushed on their break opportunities, French side.
Mrazová winds up, but decides against the deep continuation. The Czech handlers looking very static, happy to swing it around. But on the stream so far, we've seen more success with a bit of agile crushing of the cup on the handlers. Havlova back in the middle. Seems like the handlers are just following the instructions from the coaches who are calling for the around swings.
Yeah, so there's two different approaches generally to play offense against the zone. One is to spread it out, play it wide, and the other one is to give and go a lot until you find an option. Now they have found this option for a big gainer, and they're at around their own brick mark.
Bulanova is looking for options. Goes backwards to Hadova. Havlova now tries to go through the break side, but nothing there. Zaluska sporting the ginger braids. Silna now on the far sideline. Czech Republic really forced to take a lot of passes. Zaluska now thinks about the hammer, but that is just a fake. Silna now swings it wide. Bulanova. No continuation there. Silna. Still lots of confidence swinging. Hadova now through the first cup. big wall of French players is blocking the front of the end zone, preventing any continuation. Nothing for Zaluska there. Mrazova in the middle. She thinks about the overhead throw.
France opting to stay in that four-person cup, even though they're approaching the end zone quickly, and that is a score.
High release to Silna and a continuation for Buanova will add the first point onto the Czech scoreboard. After France taking an early break, the Czechs will be looking forward to rest on the sideline and put their D-line to work.
That was a very long point with quite a few turnovers. In the end, the Czech Republic gets the better of them and manages to get a point on the board.
Let's see that high grab, well reeled in by Berthaud. And here's the first defense from Bulanova. We saw Havlova get it in the middle. Doesn't have the continuation, but then thinks about which way the wind is blowing. Pops out that lovely backhand put. And the continuation made easy. Here's the Czech D-line for the first time. They like to play zone themselves as well. And here are the French.
Getting some last-minute instructions from their coach.
Don't get confused, that is a Czech flag waving in the air right behind the French O-line.
Well, every second point we can see the Czech flag waving behind the Czechs, as we are always switching the sides.
Czech PR knowing what they're doing, and no surprise that the Czechs come out in a zone. It has proven effective against the French, but it seems like the French have taken a little bit out of the Czech playbook, forcing that first break. Bergamaschi puts the disc to the sideline.
Looks like a very similar setup to the zone the French are playing.
So France trying a little bit of give and go. That is Petitbon on the far sideline. Cheeky little forehand down the wind.
And now France off to the races here.
They put up a big forehand into space for the end zone. And checks underneath, but it is Perrine Berthaud with the score for France.
Berthaud has been playing for 4 years with Magic Disc Angers Angers, probably, as her hometown and her current city is Angers. She will be a student in a sports school next year. She might be one now, and then next year she will start working. What we should look for in her play are some skies, some powerful cuts in the back of the field, but I think I can attest to that. We saw that. And it is also her first time playing on a national team.
And what an experience. The French have really fought their way to the power pole. And now they're ready to seize their chance for an easy spot in the semis. But this strong Czech team still in the way.
It's not going to be easy. Nothing out of here will be easy.
At this stage anyway, as Chris Denhardt kindly delivers some watermelon to the commentary booth for refreshments. But it has to be said, and you can see it on the color of your screen, that the sun has gotten behind the clouds for now. Silna with a courageous collection of that spinny put. Centers to Havlova. France now with a little bit of a looser, poachy look on the handlers. The Czechs sticking with the four-handler setup. Silna now. Big disc for Hadova. She gets down on her knees to collect that. Saves possession for Czech Republic.
It's a crazy grab. They seem to have found their 3 and 4 setup now, the Czech.
Zaluska puts up a forehand, but I thought that was a bit of a miscommunication. It is the French defense who immediately respond with a big put into the end zone. It's collected. Second break for France. Juliette Bertrand puts another one on the scoreboard. Czech flag or not, France at a second break going up 3-1 over the Czech Republic.
What a quick receiver in Juliette Bertrand there.
Look at that grab from Hadova. And this was a put from Zaluska, I think. She was aiming for Hadova once more. But French defense says no, and that was a great put by Rolette.
And what a grab by Bertrand. She has only been playing for 2 years, can you imagine? Her club is Flying Osters, RFO. And she hasn't really had any national experience except for France. And her highlight is winning the Madrid tournament with the French freestyle. I actually watched them and they were very impressive at that tournament freestyle. Beating Iceni in the final.
That tournament, of course, being streamed by Alti TV as well. But no surprise, the Czechs will take a timeout here, sitting down to sort of cool things down. The only one standing up will be Kristina Tlusta. Not surprised, as she is one of the humblest and most hardworking players on this Czech team. A hero to many junior players on the Czech ultimate scene. And I know from experience that she will be feeling a lot of responsibility for the performance of this Czech team at this tournament.
She is one of your teammates, isn't she?
Well, we do like to take her on a little stroll with 3SB, going to the European League, but it seems like this year she's to debut on the European club scene with her home team, East Block.
Oh, interesting.
So thank you everyone for tuning in at the WFDF YouTube channel. Please make sure you keep the comments in the comment section encouraging and positive, as these players are sure to look back at these games who are staying online, on demand, available on YouTube for you to enjoy anytime after this tournament is over. And here is Czech offense battling the wind as well as themselves as the pull from the French lands in bounds. Havlova centers to Silna. Poaches in the open space from France. We see Tlusta crossing over to that O-line. Mrazova now. No continuation there. That player was too far. She centers to Havlova instead. Tlusta through the break side. And that is another overshoot for the Czechs. So unfortunate. Now they will have to work that much harder as they set for match D. The French quickly moving, and another deep put. Two players underneath. Silna is there, but it is France who come down with it, and it's all the way into the end zone. Who else than Juliette Bertrand? That's the second break in a row. France are going crazy at the start of this game.
It is her second point, her second deep cut as well. Such a speedy receiver there. Really nothing the Czech defender could do. Just put perfectly into space in a position where only Bertrand could get that disc in her hand.
France showing so much confidence coming into this game, and it will take all the mental preparedness of the Czech players to stay in this game and try to slowly make up the difference that they have come up with. We saw a little confusion about where the mark should be standing. This actually went through the break side this whole time, and we still not trying to read that disc, but Bertrand just doing a better job. Only 19 minutes into the game, France is up 4 over the Czech Republic. The French fans in the YouTube chat, of course, loving that result. And not something we're used to from the Czechs. They have been having great starts of the games, actually.
Oh, really? I haven't followed the starts of their games, but I know that they have been doing a great job during this week, which makes these 2 breaks very uncharacteristic for them. 3 breaks actually, but who's counting? And now Czech are on offense once again.
Bit of a mix-up in the look of players as we see some of the D-line, more D-line players crossing over. Bulanova now getting almost every other. Mrazova thinking about the reset. Just waiting for Tlusta to get open. There's Čechová getting the reset to Bulanova. Bulanova to Záluska. We see the French not rushing to set the mark, and the Czechs are set up really far away. Great secure grab. And that's a high pot. Luckily, Bambasová comes down with it. The Czechs really pushed backwards there. Bambasová now on the sideline. Has to holster the throw. He's looking for Mrazova. Mrazova will go for the up line. And hopefully they'll get that continuation. No, nothing there just yet. Tlusta now to Bulanova. Bulanova winds up, but will take the reset to Bambasová. Čechová, one of the D-line handlers. He's looking to go through the break side, nothing there. Bulanova. Tlusta, that one will be too far for her. Good bid on the second try. But once more, French find themselves in the disc in their hand.
Czech Republic just having a hard time with the spacing.
And France call a timeout, sensing that this could be a nail in the coffin for the Czechs if they can score 3 breaks in a row. And as the teams huddle up and run onto the field, we're going to take a short break in the commentary booth.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back to the Ulti TV production of the Joint Junior Ultimate Championships. It would be lovely if you could hit us up and follow us on all of our social media, the tags being mostly ulti.tv on Facebook, as well as Instagram, as well as Twitter, and most recently TikTok. Give us a like, share our work. We love to deliver free streaming for you from all these different tournaments. Most recently, this under-20 women's game in the women's upper power pool. France taking an excellent start over the Czechs, taking the lead 4-1, scoring several breaks in a row. And Czechs on that last offensive possession, losing the disc once more. And they set out in a zone out of the timeout. But France so far undisturbed.
Working it with 2 handlers now. A third one comes in as well.
Petitbon.
Close to the sideline, but managed to get it through to the middle of the field.
Delamotte now looking for options. She'll have to go backwards to Babikian. Here's Paris. Finds a nice slice through the first cup. And here's Bambasova with the interception for Czechs. A chance for redemption. Can they do it? Bulanova with the give and go. Bitspowerova centers to Zaluska. Mrazovana with the disc. Wants to go through the break side, but no one's giving her anything. The spacing of these Czech players really struggling, but they get a jail out of free card. Zaluska finds the up line, and she squeezes it into the end zone. And an important, incredibly important hold for Czechs, but will be probably called back on a pick.
Yeah, there is an abundance of players in the end zone. As you already pointed out, the structure and the spacing of the Czech Republic is a bit confusing for both their players and the defense as well. But it seems to be this pick call did not affect play, and this is a goal for the Czech Republic. Thank you for engaging in the chat. There's lots of Czech and French supporters. A question from Unreal: are there any heat timeouts? No, there are no heat timeouts yet because it's hot, but it's not unbearably hot. It's about 27 degrees Celsius. You can calculate yourself what that would be in the other
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit, yeah. I don't do fake measures for
fake metric system.
No.
That is a strong statement from Christina. But like we said, perfect ultimate conditions here in Wrocław. The only thing complicating things for the players on the field will be the sun that will either be hitting the eyes of the handlers who are trying to look for options downfield, or else the eyes of the receivers who are trying to catch the disc. And Czech Republic staying close against France.
2-4. Oh, hey, Rachel, see, there's a shout out for you in the comments. Hey, Rachel, I just wanted to say you have been doing a great job with the commentary in the last few months. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you. We very much appreciate every single feedback we get from you. If it's negative, please make sure it is critique, not criticism. Let us know what you would like us to improve, or else just come around and join our commentary crew as well. Here is France on offense. Czechs sticking with the zone. That's gotten them some big victories in the pool. And the French put it up, and that is a lovely read. Who else but Juliette Bertrand, who's been there on the receiving end for the last two breaks for France, brings that one down. It's a nice put through the cup to Petitbon. Here is the lefty put through the cup, and a clean offensive hold for France. They keep their 3-point lead so far.
Beautiful stuff by the French, and an easy score. Actually, they were pinned in that end zone and near their own end zone quite a while, but managed to get the disc off to the other sideline, and from there it's just boom, boom, pow into the zone.
Like we said, French coming with a lot of confidence into this game, scoring the first break straight off the first point, and then adding two more in the process. And that really does give you a lot of sort of, not patience, definitely not patience. It gives you a lot more freedom, let's say, on some of the throw choices that you decide to go with.
Confidence as well, right? Just the energy is up for France, the confidence is high when you know you've got a buffer, but you also know you can't push this team. And it's on them to win, and it's France's game, it's definitely Czech's game to win and France's game to lose at this point. Especially because after halftime they will receive as well.
That is right. We've heard from our specialty analysts that this French team is quite athletic, so maybe they have a little bit of speed over the Czechs, but in any case, it's more often than not the case that you need that smart wins over fast. And we will see if that's the case eventually.
Would you suggest that the Czech are smarter than the French? I wouldn't put it past them. But the French have
Get the turnover once more.
Taken the disc back for them once again. Around their brick mark now.
There's Nissen with a breakthrough, and Havlova lays out and denies, once more saving the Czech O-line and giving them another chance, another go on scoring. Finds Mrazova in the middle. French offense once more slow to set up Bulanova. Back to Havlova for the up line. The Czechs pulling this vertical line so far. Hadová now. Very little happening downfield for the Czechs. They're really making their handlers work, but now they find the open arms of Stolova. Stolova looking for the reset. Can't decide which handler to pick. Zaluska. Back to Stolova. And that one too far for Havlova. And she's off to races with Bertrand, who wastes no time to hit the end zone. Is she gonna get there one more time? She does, she grabs it, and that's another break for French. These French ladies are on fire. Devastation for the Czechs. That's not what they've drawn up for themselves for this start of the game, and we see the coaches of the Czechs approach their charges to come out with a strategy not to completely lose their chance to get a clear road into the semifinal.
6-2 for the French side. Beautiful break there. So we see some highlights of this point.
Here's the big bid from Havlova. Some exciting stuff. She recognized that opportunity early, but then she sort of underestimated the French receiver once more. It's been a huge put once again, and Bertrand scores the third break for France, single-handedly bringing this French team 4 points up in the first half.
Single-handedly, I don't know. There was a lot of big throws from her throwers as well that really contributed to her being able to catch so many goals. Me as a handler myself, I always like to credit the people that put up the stuff as well as the people that come down with it in the end zone, although most of the viewing and most of the love always is distributed to the person catching in the end zone and getting the point.
So France do a little shoulder roll to get ready for the next pull. That is Berthaud with a lovely put. Silna centering to Hadová. Again, the Czech offense setting up really far, forcing their handlers to do a huge amount of work. Mrazova in the middle now, looks for the swing but doesn't take it. And that is an overthrown overhead. I think she was going for the break side where she saw the space. And immediately the French respond with a quick movement. Let's see if this time the Czechs can prevent it. Here is the layout D from Mrazova. No, sorry, Bulanova. But the French get it on the second effort. Great awareness. And they'll go backwards. Petitbon finding her teammate. And there's a continuation into the end zone. But that one will be just out of reach.
Another layout D by the Czechs, and what a play, putting her body on the line for the disc. And another big shot over everyone.
Hadová puts it up for Stupkova, and she comes down with it despite the defensive pressure. What an exciting matchup. Mrazova now has it. She'll be looking for the end zone. She's got that killer gun of a forehand. But Zaluska just signaling that she wants to stop running, and Mrazova should just pop it over the head of the mark. Here's the little bit of an arrowhead defense from the French. Hadova, high release backhand to Stupkova. Hadova gets low to make sure that disc is precise. Bulanova to the center to Tlusta, and they're off to races. Zaluska to Tlusta. Tlusta looks for the continuation. Has Mrazova. Still not in the end zone. Czechs knowing that they need to bring this one in. Hadova. They'll be looking for their set end zone play, but nothing there. Tlusta in front of the end zone, puts it up for Mrazova. Mrazova for the score. Czechs stay alive in the first half, adding the third point of the game to the scoreboard.
Great patience there from the Czech side this time around, using all their players and the whole width of the field to get that point into the end zone.
Still slightly thrown off by the fact that the plan A didn't really work out for them.
And it did take them 2 layout Ds.
Agreed, to bring that one in.
But look at that, just, oh, maybe she didn't even catch it, but pressured her defense.
And this was a lovely catch under pressure from Stupkova. Stupkova coming from leftovers in Brno, but is actually originally from Žďár nad Sázavou.
She is
the home to Chupacabras, the local team.
The Chupacabras, that's a mythic animal, I believe.
Exactly, that is correct.
And she's only 16 years old and has been playing for 3 years.
That is correct. The Czechs not having quite enough players to enter in the women's and men's division in both categories, U17 and U20. Therefore deciding to opt for the best of the best and just putting them in the under 20 category.
Well, they've shown us the best of the best, as their under 20 run during this tournament has not been the worst. Has been very impressive, actually. And they're looking to show how impressive they can be.
Čechova with the pole. And a great gainer to Leproux. Leproux goes backwards to Lacoste. And here's a leading pass collected by the French. Not afraid to lose some meters, just to potentially change the angle of attack. They just are not afraid at all to be stuck on that near sideline. Sorin goes backwards, and they try to get that swing off quickly, but I think some of the players on the field will try to call that down. Leproux, we'll see a replay. We, of course, have no opinions here in the booth. Plenty of perspectives on the field. There were players around the sideline.
I think it's very hard to say here. We'll see that again.
The players have the possibility of checking the replay on our screen that we have put on the side of our tent.
We'll show it once again.
So we will have the coaches from both teams as well as some of other players come check out the replay.
It's a turn.
And the opinion of both the Czechs and French seems to be in favor of the turnover.
Yeah, good spirit there from the French side.
So first chance for the Czechs to break.
In quite a while, for sure.
Čechova.
A big call on the field, stops play for the Czech Republic.
She found a suspiciously open, as we like to say, teammate on the sideline. Čechova fakes the deep. Doesn't take it. Good collection by Pitspowerova. Will immediately take it around. Another pick stops the play. Shvetsova will keep the disc.
Can we have a better view? Sorry. Lisa? Thank you.
You want a good stream? You need to make space. Shvetsova brings the disc back into play. She puts up a big forehand, to the break side, but not quite in the end zone yet. It's Shashkova who'll be looking to get this one in, and they do. First score, first break for the Czechs, and they're staying alive in the first half.
Spicy inside shots opening up the field for the Czech side, and as it took 2 Leotis before, now it takes 2 risky but highly rewarding shots through the inside channel.
And as we're getting some comments in the YouTube section, oh, let's see that one more time. That was actually a thing of absolute beauty. That break side throw down the line.
Little slip there.
And they even get the continuation for the up line.
Also an inside shot that is very hard to facilitate correctly.
And Pitspavarova holsters the spike because she knows I'm watching. She's been playing for about 4.5 years. Is out of Slatiňany, where the Chlupatá Žába local team plays. She also plays for East Block on the women's side, so she'll be surely trying to get involved in the European Club Series as well this year. The interesting fact about her being that her name day, which is something that we celebrate in the Czech Republic, is on the same day as her birthday.
Oh, that's
13th
nice.
of September.
13th of September. Interesting.
In any case, I was just about to say that Jiří Vosiček and Lukáš Smola are going to get banned from the chat if they're going to keep expressing opinions on this junior play. We will have no game advisors on the field, so we will only have players' perspective. So please keep your opinions to yourself in the chat, just to prevent any misconception about how this game is played. Self-officiating being one of the big rules of our sport. Here is France for the first time.
We have the benefit of a person that actually speaks the native language.
Well, down is sort of an... Oh! A wobble on the disc. Tlusta gets in the way of the throw to Blanc. And it seems like the foul call will be accepted.
Very close there in the first one. And France off to the races once again.
Petitbon with a big swing. Lots of pressure underneath. That is Rolette, who is winding up for that deep shot. She's had quite a few, being on the assisting side for the French team, getting the breaks. Now France on a stroll with a lot of give and go. Lacoste with Rolette. And here's a continuation pass into the end zone for Petitbon. And France go up 7-4 over the Czech Republic, being within 1 to take the half.
Petitbon, a sports student, a university student rather. She started playing in school and immediately liked it, so she joined the club in her city. The city she is from is Le Mans, and her club experience is with the team of Le Mans, but I don't know the name. Maybe it's just called Le Mans, the team. Well, and her sporting hero is Rafael Nadal, because he is preserving, and that is what differs him from an athlete. He is a great athlete. He always wins, and he's above everyone.
So persevering is Rafael Nadal, but persevere will try to these Czech women as well. We've had some Roger Federer as a sporting hero for the Swiss side earlier during the game, during the day on the Swiss game. So can France take the half with another break, or will the Czechs be able to apply more pressure to deliver the more tight matchup that we've expected between these two teams? Silna, meaning strong in Czech, collects for the Czechs. Zaluska to Havlova. Havlova pops it over to Mrazova. A great 3SB connection. We've taught them well. Zaluska. A little bit more pressure around the crashes through the cup. But again, the Czech downfield not able to generate any good options downfield, rather really relying on the handlers to get the pup through the first cup. Hadová now has the disc. Bulanová now with meters of space, she collects. No continuation there though, she'll have to recenter to Hadová, but continues with a give and go. She's got Havlova for the reset. And Havlova puts it up, it's hanging! Who's gonna be underneath? Luckily the Czechs, it will be Silna and her teammates. That will be a difficult one to assign the score to.
Minarikova also with the disc in her hand, as well as Silna, and both of them together getting another point on the board for the Czech Republic, making it 5-7.
Lucie Minarikova from Pohořelice plays for Capri Ultimate, and as well as leftovers, because Pohořelice are kind of close to Brno, which is the second biggest city in the Czech Republic. But we should also probably mention Bára Silna, who is out of Hradec Králové and plays for the team Kulatá Šachovnice. Some of her teammates
You're saying so many words, Rachel.
I know. I'm just trying to squeeze in all the regional teams. We're going to try to make sure to talk about French regional teams as well. But I think it's great to see on both sides that a lot of these smaller clubs are getting representation on national level.
Yeah, and as you talked about mentioning the French clubs, the team from Le Mans is called Le Mans Shot.
There you go.
Or Le Mans Show.
Le Mans Show. Excuse our French, but thank you for feeding us the fun facts in the YouTube chat.
My French is really, really bad. I understand you guys, but talking is just... reading, rather, is really, really hard. And an offsides call from the French will allow them to take the disc at the brick mark.
We've seen already several offsides called out here on the stream. It is a common occurrence that the players are unable to completely keep their feet in the end zone before they head out for the next point. But it is not so common to actually use it to your advantage, which the French do really well. Czechs come out in the zone one more time. And Petitbon will be working in the handler set together with Bergamaschi. Petitbon, one of the participants of the disc in camp that took place in France last summer and will be entering their second edition this year once more. I think next week is where it starts.
Good for her. I bet she'll learn a lot about Frisbee that she doesn't already know still.
And here is France. Swinging wide. This is a huge swing from Delamotte. Finds the intended receiver, Blanc. Always seems to get the continuation pass. Downfield, oh, and that's a big bid, but the disc is just not saved in the hands of the receiver. And here's Tlusta quickly moving the other way. Shvetsova for the Czech D-line. They'll be looking to add one more break, which would certainly be great for the Czechs. Zďárska goes backwards to Čechová.
Again, I'm not loving the spacing here from the Czech side. Their stack is a bit crooked.
Bambasova gets the nice big swing around, but no continuation, and she's a bit frustrated about that as her big mark sets up and forces her to take the reset from Čechová, but nice upline. Now the break side is really open. They'll be looking for Tlusta. But it's Fajtová who gets the disc, sends it into the end zone. Just out of reach of Zďárska, and that is an unfortunate turnover. And great news for France, who get a chance to redeem themselves.
In and out of the hands in the end zone. And France will have to work it all the way up to field. And I feel like the wind has turned and rather goes from the left to the right side of your screen now, making this an upwind battle for the French side.
The wind being a swirly monster here at Wrocław, giving these young players all sorts of issues. Here is Glusta with the D. She picks up immediately, bounces off Čechová, and they try to continue and move quickly towards the end zone. They have a second chance to break. They want to make it 2 in a row. Glusta with a big forehand for the Czechs. They score a break.
The Czech players swarming the field in celebration. What a way to get a break here. And all of these shots were a bit messy and behind, but
this is an absolutely huge comeback for the Czechs. I think a lot of us were quite surprised by the way this game started. It was just France all over the place. Quick reaction after they got the D. Immediately after the turnover, they strike deep. They get the shot there, and it is collected. Easy, quick breaks from the French D-line. But here is the Czech D-line responding with some saucy stuff of their own. There you go. Got there eventually. And even though it looks like a timeout, I don't believe one has been called.
No, I don't think so either. There's just all players running onto the field and making sure everyone stays hydrated. As we see the unfortunate bobble, a bit of a lucky turnover in favor of the Czechs as they bobble up their own way into the end zone. See there a beautiful continuation shot into the open side that gives the point to the Czechs. And
in case you're interested in other scores, you don't have to be, because this is so far the tightest game in the under 20 women's category. But we will make sure to keep you updated, but we're gonna wait if the Czechs can add another one to the scoreboard to potentially take us to Galaxy Point. They come out with the zone once more. Lacoste centers, swings it to Rollet. Rollet, another one of those participants of the disc in camp. French ultimate on the rise. Petitbon. She has her mom in the stands on the left side of the commentary tent, watching the great performance of the French team. Nissen is in the middle. French slow down, but here is a nice high release backhand to get over the first cup.
This Czech wall still in place, trying to minimize upfield options.
Nissen now working with Lacoste. They get the disc moving slightly faster. And we hear the Czech coach asking for a little bit more pressure from the zone cup. And it works as they push the French a few meters back. Lacoste, Lefebvre, Petitbon on the near sideline. Still looking for options behind that first cup is Rollet. She puts one up, and that's a right on the money. They squeeze it through to Perez. More give and go. Good combination by the French, using the swings as well as the crushes, as well as some daring shots over the Czech wall. Lacoste centers back, Petitbon.
This Czech cup looking very static now, giving a lot of space to the handlers.
Rollet unleashes as she sees the open receiver in the end zone. And that is half for the French. They take it in a spectacular fashion, 8-6. And that has kind of been the story of the first half. Rollet just making sure that these big shots are a threat against the Czechs. And that was just exactly what you kind of want your charges to do because it was an absolutely perfect throw. See the continuation. That is a full crossfield throw by her. Doesn't need to even wind up that much. Just weighs that perfectly. And Bambasova, no chance on that disc.
So this will make it halftime for France, and they will receive in the second half as well.
So in any case, halftime being at 8, we will now have about 6 minutes to recover and prepare for the second half. And as we have seen it so many times on the street, it is the half that decides the game. So for the Czechs, they will surely be hoping for further breaks on their side. For the French, they will be hoping to add some more to their side of the scoreboard. Nonetheless, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you in a little bit for the second half action. Checking out for now.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlicker Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Top Ulti TV. Följ är roginki med Ultimate avandruamena. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone, follow Alti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love free speech. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Alti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe. Alti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
with thousands of hours of experience.
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
We work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and new stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Meistering immediately launches it deep, got the shot down. No!
Will it make it
Don't you
back
dare
into
do
the
this!
end zone?
Finny!
Oh my god!
Who let you move to Europe? This is disgraceful behaviour. I didn't realise you had a
Vosicek
Czech
missed the
doppelganger. Don't you look at the camera like
And
you
it was
know
a
what
high
you
grab.
did.
The receiver
Honestly.
had no chance to actually check his feet. Seems like everyone will agree.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back to the second half of action in this France-Czech Republic heated matchup. You saw the Czech team doing their, not a celebration, a pre-game dance featuring the song We're All in This Together from the High School Musical. I'm surprised that at their age, High School Musical is still a thing. And here is a continuation series of big French highlights.
Well, I just want to jump in there real quick. High School Musical, the movie, is not a thing in their age. This is our age we're talking about. What is a thing, though, is High School Musical, the series, which is just a TV show featuring new people doing, singing the same songs that we knew back when we were growing up.
And look at those big put that France have been putting up all game long so far. Those were the big break puts, and more often than not it was Roulette, number 7 on the French team, making the throws, and Juliette Bertrand on the receiving end. A stellar performance out of France, but the Czechs sticking close, hoping to make another bit of a comeback in the second half. If you're only tuning in now, we will let you know that this is sort of an important game, but it isn't. In any case, the winner of this matchup goes directly into the semis of the World Junior Ultimate Championship.
So as for this, we will just quickly run some other results and from the ongoing games by you, saying as the winner directly goes to the semi-final. Who will also directly go into a semi-final is the USA, who have won against New Zealand 15-2. GB women, so Great Britain, are battling Italy in the under-20 women's division, currently leading 9-4. That is Italy. Canada leading Austria women 12-6, and Germany leading over the Polish women 13-3. So rather uneven games that we have here, and the closest one is the one we have in on the stream currently, and we are starting now with France receiving for the second half.
And this time, Rollet will be on the offensive side of things. She's always the one to put up the big plays, but this time, Czechs are ready for it. Bambasova with the interception. Shvetsova now. Goes to the middle to Hadova. Hadova currently unmarked. Gets slow for the continuation to Doležalová. Center to Tlusta, who loves the give and go, but doesn't take it this time. Pick call stops the play.
Seems like even in the second half, the Czechs have not quite figured out their spacing yet, but the movement of the disc is already far better than we saw before.
So they're still looking to enter this first half in a big fashion. Hadova Goes to Tlusta, but she keeps her eyes on the disc and collects on the second effort. I don't think Tlusta was really expecting that throw. Czechs forced to go backwards. And as Tlusta looks for the continuation, here is Roulet, who immediately does what she does best, puts up a big backhand, but this time, for the first time, I believe, in this game, it will be out of reach of the intended receiver.
The wind picking up and pushing the disc further into the ground, and the Czech Republic has another opportunity to work it down the field.
Shvetsova centers the disc. Hadová now. Looking for options. Good leading pass to Tlusta. But once more, oh, they do get the continuation off. Doležalová, another upline for Hadová. Tlusta will go to Hadová once more into the end zone, and that's a grab. Czechs start with a break. They're off to the races in the second half.
Czech Republic start the second half like France did in the first half with a break. Beautiful offense now from the Czech Republic. The stack had a much better structure, and they were working it within the handlers, relying on the speed and the nifty cuts from just a few of them. And look at that concentration on the throw as the Czechs keep possession alive here.
So Czechs getting the desired start to the second half. We'll see that nice upline to Hadová. She snacks that out of the air, one-handed grab, making sure to keep the fans at home entertained. Czechs within one, but still trailing behind with some breaks to make up for. You've mentioned before, Christina, that the US currently the only team together with the Czechs who are unbeaten in this tournament so far. And we will see.
They have not had a real struggle, to be honest. The only close game, at least the first half was close, was Czech Republic against the US this morning. I believe the US won this half 8-6.
I think yes, that's correct. And then the score was 8-7, but then the Americans really took off and took the game 15-8. So let's see if the Czechs can continue their stroll. Bambasová with the pull. And Lacoste immediately going to Blanc. Loving the movement from Blanc downfield. She somehow always seems to find a good space to stand in or to cut into. They swing it wide to Nissen. The short frame of Lacoste is moving around the handler space.
The four-person cup from the Czech Republic there again to prevent any downfield option. They're actually jogging there a little bit, making them believe they have all the options, but really pressuring any continuations downfield.
Petitbon now getting in the mix of the handler space. Nissen centers back to her. A little bit more pressure applied by the Czech Cup now. Blanc sporting that white hat band, helping me to remember her name. Nice and easy. Nissen with the eyes, with the sun in her eyes. They're looking for those continuations. And here is Rollet with that big swing. She usually goes forwards, not sideways, and this time it really doesn't pay off for the French as the sideline perspective calls the disc out, calls the catch out of bounds.
Yeah, this might have been the problem here. Her not going down the field, but laterally rather.
Čechová finds a gainer from Tlusta. Bambasová now losing meters. Back to Tlusta. They get the quick give and go off. Bambasová continues. And it is Stupková who needs to get low. And Tlusta unleashes into the end zone. Who can bring it down? It's the Czechs once more. Second break in a row. We're tied at 8, Christina. What a start of the second half for the Czechs.
What a start, really. I didn't think that was in the Czechs, but they have proven me wrong, and that is a tied game now, 8-8. You know, that is really just the way France started the first half with 2 breaks. They were up 2-0 before the Czechs got their first goal.
So finally preventing some of those great deep shots that France was featuring in the first half. Let's see that replay once more. No, absolutely no angle on that to be able to say whether that was out, but the call has been made. The sideline apparently confirmed it. And you saw the Czech sideline a while ago celebrating this huge put by Tlusta. It didn't seem like I thought it was going to be a bigger battle between the receivers, but once more, the commentator is not right, and the players do what they do.
Well, we're not supposed to be right, Rachel. We're just supposed to fill the silence.
That is correct. If you've ever watched a video transmission of an ultimate game without sound, you will realize that it is quite boring. France, one more time on offense. Delamotte. Sideways to Botra. So some exchange of players on the French O-line. Oh, almost a hand on that. But France keep it alive. Pop over the first cup, but the defender slips. So Blanc has it, but goes backwards to Delamotte. Petitbon on the sideline. Thinks about the scooper. Doesn't take it, turns around instead, and that one goes to the ground. The Czechs, again, waste no time, just like France did in the first time. And they have a wide open receiver. They don't take it. That is incredibly surprising. Shvetsova fakes big. That's a high disc for Tlusta. But despite her small frame, she takes that hit and goes immediately through the break side.
Huge jump from Tlusta and gets it again up the line.
She'll be looking for that reset one more time. That is some lovely piece of handling offense. Bulanova now goes through the middle. Doležalová in the red zone. Czechs with a chance to score a third break in a row. And they do! Bulanova gets horizontal. Last second grab. This is an incredible game. Christina is the one to make history for sure.
It is. The Czechs really turning up the energy now. And that disc was even tipped by the marker, but still with a layout, she gets that grab in the end zone.
Devastation for the French. That's 3 breaks in a row, and not surprising that they will be taking a timeout. They will need to make sure that they recover. Nothing's really happened. They've created that buffer in the first half, so we're kind of even still. The game can be really tight, and I don't think these French will be ready just yet to give up that chance to directly compete in the World Junior Ultimate Championship semifinal. But as the teams huddle up in their respective sides of the field, we're going to take a short breather in the commentary booth ourselves.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
So back out of the timeout is this French team who is starting on offense once more. They have currently been broken 3 times by the Czechs, who have really seem to have found their pace in the second half. Here they are setting up once more in their zone. The French really need to put a lot of focus into this O point, making sure they keep this game close. Nissen working with Leproux.
Czechs back in their zone setup, as you said, it has been working very well for them, but France off the races, and that's a turnover.
And a wobble from Čechová. They almost give it right back. And this layout, unfortunately, will be unsuccessful for the Czechs as the disc bounces off the palms of the intended receiver. Not sure. We see the pick signal.
There was a stoppage on the field, as I think,
but retracted as the
Bertrand
turnover
was
stands.
stepped on.
Oh, I see.
I believe. So she was down, but both players just looked at the play, decided the Czech Republic couldn't come up with that disc, and everything is fine again as France get possession back.
That is a nice around put around the Czech zone from Lacoste. And they continue down that sideline before the Czechs get there. Sorin. Loving the quick handler movement from Lacoste. Nissen now gives it back to her. Leproux. The Czech sideline calling for a defense. And a foul called immediately on the throw.
Yeah, that disc was sharply into the ground.
And immediately accepted as there was contact on the release. I think Nissen got a bump on the back. Not necessarily getting touched on that release, but still when somebody hits you from behind, it can affect your throw. So France continue. It's a nice flow and lots of passes from these handlers. Some of the downfield players, Meunier, coming in to spice things up and make it that much more difficult for the Czech defense to stay concentrated. And they try to squeeze it through. And that is excellent heads-up D by the Czechs. Hadová takes the around. Švecová, who got the D earlier, now on the sideline, will go for the leading pass to Čechová. Čechová tries to find Fajtová, but that one wobbled. Second chance for France.
Turning into a multi-turnover point, not messy at all though, as both teams just working.
It's a great put through the middle to Luca. Sorin now goes backwards to the handlers. Hadová takes away that reset, but doesn't follow her on that up line. And Lacoste once more gets free. And they will go for the high release backhand. Second effort chance. The Czechs moving quickly in the other direction. And Hadová takes a timeout.
Veteran move from Hadová to take that time out and to draw up a good piece of offense after this multiple turnover point where both teams couldn't really get the better of the other.
And as you said, Christina, the multiple turnovers causing the fans at home as well as on the sideline, as well as to us here in the commentary booth, a bit of a heart attack situation. So we're going to take a little breather and we're checking out for now.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome to the second half of action. Czechs taking a timeout in a very long point that once upon a time started as an offensive point for France. The Czechs forcing several turnovers out of the French already. They're on a stroll here, scoring 3 breaks in a row. So this is a very, very important hold for France. So we will see what they will come out with after this timeout, and I would not be surprised if it was that zone defense that has proven so incredibly efficient for them in the first half. Hadová is already positioning herself above the disc because she was the one to call the timeout, and you have to have the same person continue once the disc is back into play.
Czech Republic setting up in a horizontal setup. I bet there's one set play that they want to play, but as you predicted, the French start with their zone setup, a 1-3-2-2, 1-3-3-1 kind of setup.
In any case, it will be a zone, and they're definitely forcing the Czechs towards this near sideline. Bambasová examines the field. Čechová now back to Hadová. They'll be looking for that pop over the first cup. Oh! And that is a great put by Hadová, finding Dvořáková downfield. But a few seconds later, they're right where they started, losing meters and taking the swing around approach.
They are making the cup run a lot though, which is always a good thing if you're Czech Republic.
The French defense are doing a great job. But here is one more pass to Fajtová. Fajtová puts it up for the crossfield throw. Can they come down with it? No, it's not read perfectly by Dvořáková. Unfortunate, but so lucky for France. We see Nissen on this French side in the handling space, and you were wondering if she's related to the player on truck stop, and the YouTube chat says correct.
Sister?
Another defense. Čechová walks to the disc, picks up, looks for that continuation. Defense is there, intercepted.
This looked too easy, and it definitely was for Czech Republic. A stoppage on the field now, though.
That was great last second save from Perrine Leproux. And it seems like we see the sign for timeout, this time on the French side. That will be a second timeout in this second half. Both teams having 2 timeouts at their disposal. So Christina, do we have anything interesting happening in the other fields around field 1? We are streaming at field 1 all week, every day, 5 games per day. This one being the last one, the 5 o'clock slot.
Yeah, we got some stuff. Germany took the win over Poland 15-3. So this is under 20 women's division, right? Canada took the win over Austria 15-8. GB and Italy are still battling. Italy up 12 to GB 7. And
I think that's it.
That's it for the under 20 women's. There's also a game between Italy and Sweden in the under 17 open division, still going 13-7. All the other games have been finished with rather grand results.
And we're getting some more information about the Nissen family. He is also the player for Chuck, played with them at WCC.
Good for him. I bet that he had a lot of fun. I met some of the Chuck guys recently. They're a fun bunch.
Unfortunately, none of the Czech teams able to make it this year to WCC, as tournaments like this are quite expensive for clubs who are mostly made up, or at least by half, from many young players, students and high school students who don't have the heart to ask their parents for that kind of money. In any case, that makes us that much more grateful for this wonderful tournament here in Wrocław, which is not only close for the Czechs, but also affordable, meaning that even the players who are not able to compete internationally at all the big tournaments still get to play great games like this. Here's France, one more time with the lefty handler.
Czech Republic in their four-person cup zone.
France stuck in their own end zone. We'll have to look for options downfield. And they do. That's a high release backhand. Just about makes it over the outstretched arms. Luca goes backwards. France now out of the dangerous territory. Nissen swings to Lacoste. Now Lacoste, excellent vision. It's once more Luca in the right spot behind the first cup. Lacoste on the far sideline. She's been able to put up some wonderful openers for this French team.
Very stable handler set on the French side there, but this zone, or rather the lack of pressure during the handler points here for the handler in the handler set here for France.
And here's Lacoste making it behind the first cup. She puts one up. Can the defender read it? No, it will be none other than Julia Bertrand with the collection for France. She puts one up for the score. France stay alive. Lulu Luca with the score and an offensive hold for French.
Beautiful stuff there from the French side. That huck perfection for the French receiver. The Czech defender cannot quite get her hands high enough to tip that disc even. And Bertrand with an assist that'll give the France their 9th point onto the score.
We so often see the defenders on this sideline, on these forehand hucks that are curving towards the near sideline, so closer to the camera, underbid on those hucks because the trajectory is affected slightly by the wind, and so often we see it just go over the head of the defender and into the hands of the receiver. But Bertrand always making sure she's in the right space. She's scored the majority of the breaks for France in the first half. And they stay alive. We're back at 9, a tight game, and a Czech O-line making an appearance. They've struggled with their spacing in the first half. And France now really fired up about that offensive hold. As some of you said in the chat, it was an incredibly nerve-wracking point that eventually went in favor of the French.
Indeed it was.
There is the fired up French D-line.
And I believe this is the first time the Czech Republic are receiving on offense in the second half.
That is correct. Going on a 3-point streak with their breaks. Havlova breaks through the zone. Silná now to Mrazová. I would like to see Bulanová stand more in the middle for the continuation. Can Havlova see her? She thinks about the overhead. She does. But the tall frame of Beata Dole prevents her from going for that one. Great effort. And no surprise that Rolette. Was that Rolette with the D? I think it was. I thought she was going to pick up immediately and go for one of those quick breaks. But instead, Lacoste Lefebvre picks up, goes with a high release to the break side. Glusta gets there on time. Blanc looking for a Roulet, who doesn't take a deep shot surprisingly. It is Lacoste who finds the tall frame of Berthaudot. Continuation to Blanc. France knocking on the doorstep for a break. They do get it in, and they're back on top. Erel Perez with the score for France. The first break for France in the second half.
Indeed. And we are back on serve as... Oh no, France is a break up now as the Czech Republic started on offense in the first half But we are back with France on top here late in this second half. The time at 89 minutes. About 10 more minutes to go as games are 100 minutes long, or a maximum of 15 points scored. And with this nail biter of a game, I could really imagine this not going to the full 15. But since both teams are battling this hard to get a break and get that D every single point, it could as well not be enough time for the full 15 points to be reached by any of the teams.
Tlusta crossing over once more for the Czech Republic O-line. I cannot believe we only have about 10 minutes left of the action. And as much as I would like a clean, quick offensive hold for the Czechs here, I don't think we will make it to 15, Christina.
We'll see what happens.
They prepare to receive the pull, and it will be a huge one out of Roulette. Zaluska. Czechs really need to start crashing the cup a bit more, and Tlusta is the one for the job. She's working with Hadová. Hadová takes the around now. Zaluska in the middle. Hadová. Four-person cup. Worked wonders for the French. They're hoping to go 2 up, 2 breaks in a row. Zaluska immediately to Hadová for the crash in the first cup.
So much pressure from the French. Nifty high release flick there.
Very cheeky. Mrazová kind of open in the middle of the field. Roulette almost got a hand on that. Tlusta now with the continuation immediately. Mrazová will keep on going with Tlusta. Havlová now winding up to Zaluska. Czechs nearing the last third of the field. Havlová tries to look through the break side. Mrazová, can she pop it in? The French zone once more, slowing the Czechs down. Zaluska with the disc. And that's a drop. So unfortunate. France with a chance to break. Can they go 2 in a row?
Stone cold drop, no pressure whatsoever, but now the pressure is on the French side to get another break in.
Rollet will be looking to put on another one of her signature hucks. Instead centers to Blanc. Lacoste finds Roulette once more. She puts one up. It's big. It's hanging. Players underneath. The defender misses it once more. It is Bertrand with the catch. Good switching downfield to prevent the continuation into the end zone. But she gets the break in. France go up 2 in a row.
What a nifty break. The stall count must have been really, really high for this point here.
But Bertrand doing a wonderful job just keeping her eyes on the prize. She really wanted to put that one in the end zone, and she did. That is incredible effort and excellent display of mental toughness to put the French back again on top. They're going up 11-9 over Czech Republic. Not an impossible mountain to climb, but it is getting late in the game.
It's not impossible, and it's not over until it's really over. But this just seems like the momentum switched in favor of the French side in the right moment.
So, what has been the most exciting game so far this round in the under-20 women's division continues live on the WFDF channel for free, as the French fans and Czech fans are just ready for their team to take off now, take the other team by surprise, and bring this home for a chance to play in the semis. Bambasová. Čechová. And Hadova will be the handler setup, who will be forced towards this near sideline as the wind is slowly picking up. We see 4 players around the disc. I think the Czechs could put another one in there. I don't know, all the other downfield players are closely guarded by match defense. Mrazová now to Tlusta. Tlusta, almost as she has heard me, enters into the handler mix. Hadova puts up a high release for Mrazová. Mrazová puts a ripper of a forehand up. No defender. And a continuation into the end zone. And despite that layout, hopefully okay, we see the French defender holding on to the elbow that she might have hurt as she was coming down big on that defensive effort. That is Rollet.
It was a big bit, but it was a bit late as well. Blanc,
yeah.
Blanc with the layout bid, but very opportunistic to jump in there still.
You can check out the camera players in the commentary booth and see if there was any good angles that would help you decide whether
see the replay.
This will be a goal or not.
Once again, a beautiful put, and she jumps really in the back of her defensive matchup, which I really don't like because it's just very dangerous. We see the replay once again.
Well, knowing what's at stake, the big semi-final, I don't think she was I think she was trying to squeeze in front of the receiver.
I do get that, but on the other hand, it's very dangerous for her as well, as seemingly she has hurt herself.
That's right. In any case, Czechs stay tight. Here's the Czech sideline. Some players, that is Hadova, I think she was so sad about that drop she had in that previous point, but that is the game for you. Sometimes it gives you all the joy in the world, and sometimes it just brings a little bit of frustration or devastation. And it is now being made obvious by the hand signals that the Czechs will take a timeout, as they have another one in this second half. And we will take a little time to recollect ourselves, checking out for now. Back off of the second timeout of the Czechs, here is the French O-line, hugging around each other's shoulders in preparation for the pull. The Czechs getting sorta lucky on that last point, in a sense that they needed to stay close to be able to put their D-line back to work. They are, after all, competing for a direct ticket to the station semifinals of World Junior Ultimate Championship. France get underway. And here is an overthrow on an upline continuation. The Czechs with a chance to equalize. Čechová will pick up the disc near camera 2.
This has been a game of runs, and it's only fitting. The game ends this way with another break opportunity.
A completely free receiver down the line gets the disc and awaits the arrival of handlers. Stupková puts up a blady flick, but intercepted. France with a chance for redemption. That was Saurin with the break, and a little bit of a hand on that deep shot. Bambasova makes sure there's no second effort on it.
A little bit of a hand. That was a full-on hand block there from the marker.
Yeah, she looked like her arm was quite sore after that. And the Czechs put up one on their own. That is a great reception by Stupkova. Stupkova goes around. Chechova attacks the disc before the French defenders can get there. Bambasova fakes the hammer. She's more than capable of throwing those. She's done so in the EYUC Under-17 final in 2019. And they put up a big hammer. Who reads it better? This time France get in the way once more. Bertraudot, as she does ever so often, knocks that one away.
3 Czech players underneath, but only the French receiver coming up with the D there.
Petitbon getting some give and go action with Lacoste. And that is a lovely visionary pass over the first cup. Here's the give and go. And an overhead throw for the end zone. France scores. They take one out of the Czech textbook, but they do it slightly better. It ends up in the hands of the intended receiver. It is Bertraudot. So a bookends or double happiness for her. And Czech Republic with all the pressure on them to keep scoring. France still 2 points up as we hit the 100-minute time mark.
I haven't heard a whistle yet. We will double check and confirm whether this is actually already cap 1 or if we will play this point and then add the cap.
That is correct. I just hope this game carries on until 15 so that we really get the full blown excitement and fun out of this one.
I can already disappoint you, Rachel. I'm sorry about this. But even if we will play another point and potentially France would get another break in and get that point, it would be 13-10 then. And it would be a game to 14 at the maximum, seeing as this point has to last until the time is over. So I just heard the whistle now, so it will either be 10-13 game to 14 or 11-12 game to 13.
The Czech offensive power line will be looking to bring this one in as their French counterparts will be hoping for a break to finish early. Nice gainer from Bulanova. She thinks about the forehand, she thinks about the backhand, but then takes the around for Havlova. Silna now with the disc after quite some time. Looking for options. She's got Bulanova for the leading pass. Great heads-up D by Luca. And the French could go straight into the semis. But they will take a timeout instead, and we will use that opportunity to double check, but it seems like Christina already has the answer for you.
So as I said just a minute ago, this is France's disc. And after this point, we will add one to the higher score.
High release backhand to the break side for Blanc. Nice continuation through the, what seems to be the break side. No, it is the open side. Mrazova forces backhand. Blanc. Rollet. Another one. Big forehand. Havlova is underneath. Doesn't collect. And who other than Bertrand, the scoring machine, the beast of the end zone, to collect for France. Another break. That is just an incredible performance out of France. They go up.
They go up 13-10, and this is one last point here that will be added, making it a cap at 14. Czech Republic's 10. They take a timeout, what it looks like at least, as they're gathering around the field.
So it really has kind of been the story of the game, the Czech offense struggling against this against this French zone. We saw it at the start of the game. France taking an early lead. Let's see that one more time. This time the disc goes down a little later than Havlova anticipated. And can the Czechs do the impossible?
Hey, Rio.
There's a little doggo cam to calm you down.
Yeah, just taking a bit of the excitement off for all of you and get you ready and psyched up for this potentially last point. Hopefully last point if you're supporting the French. And of course you want to see the Czech side get it back. Or all of us want to see that because we love to watch all the frisbee.
Bambasova picks up for the Czechs. Hadova, high release to Tlusta. The Czechs again spreading out really wide. France coming out with a tight match D. Hadova in the middle. Another high release. Tlusta gets down with it. She had Mrazova streaking, but not under the right angle. Bambasova gets it in the center. Continuation to Silna. Tlusta gets things moving. Silna once more. Here is the nice continuation. Stolzova centers to Hadova. And that is an overthrow on the continuation. France with a chance to take the game.
Unforced arrow by the Czechs, and France has about half the field to work with until they can score the last point here.
On the sideline, we'll try to go through the break site. She doesn't, she puts a bladey one up, and this time Mrazova tries to get underneath. France still not there. About one pass away, they squeeze the break side throw in, and that is their ticket to the semi-final. Hard break for the Czechs. Incredible effort out of the French. They are gonna be in the semis of the World Junior Ultimate Championship straight away. It is not over for the Czechs yet. It is not over. They still have some games to play. They can still make the semis. They will just need to play a couple of extra games, recollect themselves, gather all the confidence, and make it right back. What a game, Christina.
What a game. We saw in this last point, bidding Czech bodies, but the sticky hands of the French calmly receiving those discs to finish that off with a break here. What an exciting game, and the score of 10-14 in the favor of France really does not reflect the intensity of this game. And happiness for the Czechs, devastation, happiness for the French, devastation for the Czechs, but it's not over for sure, and we might even see a rematch of these two teams in the semi-finals, because the Czech Republic will play against Italy and have a game to go into the semi-finals, and we'll meet the French there once again.
So this just shows how incredibly tight matched is this under-20 women's division. We have seen several teams taking wins and losses both ways, and this match being just another example of that. I think it's a good lesson for the Czechs. They haven't suffered a loss so far in this tournament, and it will be a good exercise. Like I said, lots of these teams coming from small club backgrounds, this being their only potential option to get in for big games, play some international ultimate, and really take responsibility on the field. And losing is just as important of a part of playing ultimate as winning. Nothing is done. The journey is not over for the Czechs. It has just been made a tiny bit more obstacled in the form of the one extra game against Italy. France take this game home 14 to 10 over the Czechs. They will go straight into the semis. They can rest tomorrow. And thank you so much for engaging in the chat on YouTube, for keeping it nice and encouraging for these youth athletes. It's been wonderful to have you. I was Rachel Toshnerová, and I was joined by the excellent Austrian Christina Obermeier. It's been the last game of the day, so you can now turn off the computer, go for a nice walk, get a little breather, and make sure to tune in tomorrow. And before you do that, just hit that subscribe button.
TV.
Meistering immediately launches it deep, got the shot down. No!
Will it make it
Don't you
back
dare
into
do
the
this!
end zone?
Finney!
Oh my god!
Who let you move to Europe? This is disgraceful behaviour. I didn't realise you had a
Vosicek
Czech
missed the
doppelganger. Don't you look at the camera like
And
you
it was
know
a
what
high
you
grab.
did.
The receiver
Honestly.
had no chance to actually check his feet. Seems like everyone will agree.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a
football!
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.